Hey guys, it's Charlotte from The Writable back with another fantastic question. And today's question is, I'm not sure if I'm explaining some of the details of my world well enough. Yeah, totally. There's a race of invisible people who the main character isn't aware of, but they show up and help her in the end. Oh my gosh. So, I love this idea so much. It's adds so much fun. But I also really love this question because you've totally, I think, got the right idea here, knowing that when you've got something that's going to show up at the end, you need to foreshadow it. You need people to know that it's coming. Even if they don't know exactly what's coming, they need to know that something is coming. And have it be predictable but still surprising, right? That's the line, but you can't just have them know that something is coming with absolutely no idea what, because we know something is coming. So trying to figure out how to foreshadow something that the main character is not aware of, but is going to come, to fruition in the end. And how do you do that? And I think the question really here is around how do you explain the world building around these invisible people that the main character isn't aware of? And so it's true that the main character isn't going to be aware of these people, but certainly they're going to be aware of the effects of them, especially if the invisible people show up in the end. Or even if, we need some way to put some little hint in there that there are these people around, that they, have the tendency to meddle a little bit, whatever it is. So if we need to see, we can foreshadow this with a flash of, just ideas, but a flash of light, or an object's moved, or there's some very helpful something deposited, and the guy's like, the main character is like, I don't know where this came from, but it's so helpful. And have the main character start positing this idea that there are some helpful forces, some helpful something, and we might also have like myths that go along with this. I don't know what kind of story this is, if it's fantasy, if it's science fiction, but having some sort of myth or some sort of clues. I mean, really, you're dropping lots of clues. And of course, the temptation, though, is to write in little cutaways to say, to tell the reader that there's something there, without having the main character describe it. And that's something that's possible. It depends on your point of view. You don't want to be breaking a first person point of view to go look at what these, for a line at the end of your chapter that says, somewhere in the background this was happening, because that just takes the reader right out of it. If you've got like a third person omniscient, of course you can do that. Your other option, if you really feel you need something like that, would be to have a separate chapter where you're actually following the invisible people, and you can switch if you need to from a first person to a third person view, as you're changing your point of view character between chapters. So those are options, but my personal favorite would be finding ways to share what it is that the main character actually can see and what they actually can notice about these invisible people. So whether it's they're catching a glimpse of them and they don't really know what it is, or they're aware of the legends, or maybe there's some research like Ghostbusters type stuff where they're picking up the EM fields, and they're really starting to try to figure out what these things are, or you've just got straight up, these people are already showing up and interfering, and there's this whole mystery around it, So the character's trying to figure out what's going on, which means the reader's also trying to figure out what's going on, so that when they show up at the, at the climax, at the end of the story, they're not showing up out of nowhere. The reader has been trying to figure out what these people are, and it's such a, such a fulfillment. It's so satisfying at the end to get the answer. So that would be very quickly kind of top tips for how you might share something like that, where again the reader can't, or the main character doesn't know what's actually going on, but we have to hint it to the reader so that when it shows up at the end, we've foreshadowed it enough that it's not coming up out of nowhere, and we're not getting kind of slammed for our stories having these kind of easy fixes at the end. All right, so thanks again. I am Charlotte from The Writable, and if you have a question of your own, you're always welcome to message me, and I will do my best to answer it here on a video.